Heading here with district champion head coach Chad Beermann as the walk-on Indians get ready for the playoffs against Union this week. And let's go back to Friday night's game, which ended up being a district championship game for you. You trailed early in that game, fought back, tied the score, sent it to overtime, and your kids eventually got the win. What got it done for you last week, Coach?
Well, I think it took a while for our kids to adjust to just how physical New Hampton was. And they've got good offensive line, tremendous running back, and once we kind of settled in, we were able to start playing with them. We got down 14-0, and then put together a nice drive right before half, and managed to keep them out of the end zone. They had a drive going, and we had an interception that turned them back, went into halftime, and then we came out and actually went ahead and got another interception, had opportunity to go up by 2 scores, and then ended up turning the ball over. They drove down and tied it up. We got the ball back with just about a minute and a half to play and decided that it was in our best interest to take it to overtime. We knew because of the 17-point tiebreaker, by going to overtime, we'd have a home playoff game locked up whether we won it or lost it. And then we got the kids together before we went to overtime, talked to them, and explained that by going to overtime, we were going to have a home round or home game to open with, and now we just needed to go win the district title and managed to get the big stop. New Hampton liked to go for a 2-point conversion, and we tackled Mr. McShane just shy of the goal line and got the win.
Take us through that stop. You scored first in overtime, got the extra point through, and then New Hampton countered with that score. How'd you get that stop on a 4th down? What was the key to keeping a really talented back out of the end zone?
Well, to be honest, watching our game film, sometimes it almost looks like a nature documentary where you got a pack of wolves trying to bring down a bison. I mean, he had 44 carries for 288 yards. And they had 295 total offense. I mean, the kid we probably hit him over 100 and some times total with the 44 carries because kids bounced off of him, and kids kept coming. And on the last play, Grain Curtin hit him in the backfield. Before he got back to the line of scrimmage, stopped his momentum. Isaac Erickson came in, and then he tried to cut back as Isaac's hanging on to him for dear life, and 2 or 3 more kids arrived to finish him off. So there were 4 or 5 kids on the tackle, and he still got within probably a yard of punching it in. So he's a tremendous player, and like I said, it took a complete team effort to keep him out of the end zone.
And looking back at the season, I know all your eyes are forward on the playoffs now and getting ready for Union this Friday night, but you were sitting at 1-3, and you ended up losing that first round playoff or first round district game to North Fayette Valley 34-7, but you've rebounded with 4 nice wins in a row, including last week's game. What do you credit that to? Because when you're 1-3, your season can go one direction or the other, and you obviously chose the right route.
Right. We just kept preaching to the kids that we could see that there was potential there. We believed that they had it if they would just take the coaching and step up and do what they were capable of doing. And as the season has gone on, they've shown more and more of what they're capable of doing. Like I said, New Hampton was a very physical club. They were able to match that physicality and play on the line of scrimmage and get the plays they needed to make. Playing as a team, really. I mean, when you start pointing fingers at each other, you got to jump on that, and we did, and they responded, and had we not done that, I think we would have gone the other way. But this group stayed together and improved all the way through the season, and that's, I mean, we find ourselves sitting at our 6th consecutive district championship, which 5 weeks ago didn't look like that was going to be a possibility.
Did you learn any lessons through that 1-3 start that helped improve yourselves over the course of the second half of the season?
Well, I think in every loss, there's stuff you can point to, take away that if we would have done this a little bit better or that a little bit better, we'd have a chance to make that play. And if we make that play, that might have stopped this drive. And so there's all those things you can point to as teaching. And that's really that's all coaching is just teaching as the kids you try to improve their strength and agility and all that stuff, but basically the mind has to come along first. And so we were able to teach the kids throughout the season, and they've learned and improved as we've gone on.
And this week you have a Union coming to town, not exactly an unfamiliar opponent to you, but this year they're a 2-6 team, but they're still playing football. So they're a team to be reckoned with. What have you seen on film about the Knights that impresses you?
Well, they lost their first 6 in a row and then won their last 2 ball games to get into the playoffs. So you got a team that didn't quit. With those 6 losses, they kept playing. We've looked at their films, and they had several close ones. And they played Prairie City Monroe, who's rated top 10 in the perennial. I mean, we played them in the semifinals in 2020, and they were actually ahead of them early in the contest, and then PCM kind of wore them out and took control. But they're a team that's played with people. They're a team that we've seen, and they've got my understanding is Joe Hadachek, who was the head coach, is back now as an offensive coordinator, helping them out. And the team looks similar to the Union teams that you would have seen through the 20 teens and 20 or early 2000s even. A lot of the formations and shifts and stuff are similar. So it's a new old opponent, I guess.
All right, Coach, hopefully we can have another conversation next week. Keep you guys healthy, and hopefully we'll be talking about a first-round playoff win and a second-round playoff preview next week. Best of luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Chad Beermann, head coach of the Walk-On Indians.